Imagine putting your heart into something, a product that you believe in, something that screams new beginnings, healing, and independence, and then watching it go down in flames, all because of a single bite. That's the nightmare Meghan Markle is living right now. Her dream raspberry jam, the launch of her luxury lifestyle brand, just got publicly humiliated in the worst way possible by none other than Gordon Ramsay. And no, this didn't happen in some quiet, cozy kitchen. This train wreck unfolded in the middle of a buzzing LA restaurant, full of influencers, journalists, and diners with phones already recording. Meghan's PR team thought they'd struck gold by having the jam served on the restaurant's famous scones. They were banking on an elegant soft launch, but instead, they served Meghan's brand on a silver platter for Ramsay to tear to shreds. Now let's set the scene. Ramsay was there, just minding his business, when a plate with Meghan's handcrafted, organic, farm-to-table, elegantly curated raspberry jam lands in front of him. He takes a bite, and then everything stops. You could hear the forks hit the plates. Not even 2 chews in, Ramsay spits it out. Spits it out. And what does he say? This isn't food. It's a crime against fruit. Dead silence. Then chaos. He didn't stop there. Oh no. Gordon Ramsay went on a full-blown tirade. The texture? Slimy. The taste? Like cough syrup and cheap perfume had a baby. The branding? Pretentious nonsense. And yes, he said it loud enough for everyone to hear. The restaurant went from brunch buzz to viral bombshell in seconds. Phones were already rolling. By the time Meghan's team realized what had happened, the clips were flooding social media. Hashtags like Jamgate and like Ramsay vs Meghan started trending before sunset. And that jam? Meghan had spent months on it. Everything from the soft pastel jars to the fonts to the hand-packed by Meghan herself rumors. This wasn't just jam, it was supposed to mark her rebirth. A post-royal, post-drama, clean slate. But thanks to Ramsay's one-liner, it became the laughingstock of the internet. People online were ruthless. One person tweeted, "Ramsay just said what we were all too polite to admit." Another quipped, "If this jam's organic, I'm a unicorn." Critics piled on like vultures. One compared the texture to melted lipstick. Another joked, "If she calls this premium, ketchup deserves a Michelin star." And Meghan's team panicked. Reports say they immediately called the restaurant, begging them to remove the jam from the menu and praying the staff wouldn't talk. But the damage was already done. That video was everywhere, and Ramsay wasn't about to walk back a word. When asked later if he regretted what he said, his response? "Absolutely not. I'd rather eat from a bin than touch that jam again." Ouch. The fallout hit hard and fast. The restaurant silently ended their partnership with Meghan's brand as ever. Rumors flew that Meghan's team tried to blame the disaster on bad storage or shipping delays. But the culinary world wasn't having it. As one chef bluntly put it, no fridge on earth can fix bad taste. And just like that, Meghan's carefully crafted image began to crumble. Again. Not because of palace drama or a tabloid frenzy, but because a world-famous chef told the truth. And everyone listened. Social media turned savage. Memes popped up like wildfire. One had Ramsay holding the jam like it was toxic waste. Another read, "Her jam has more preservatives than her acting career." Brutal doesn't even begin to describe it. And what stung the most? Even Meghan's usual defenders were quiet this time. The whole thing wasn't just a failed product. It was a public, reputational blow. Meghan had been trying so hard to reinvent herself, leaving the royal mess behind, moving into a space of curated calm, mindfulness, and elegance. But instead of being seen as a wellness queen, she ended up looking like another celebrity slapping their name on something and hoping it sells. Insiders say Meghan's PR team was in absolute meltdown mode. Emergency calls, frantic brainstorming sessions, PR consultants scrambling for damage control. Ideas floated. Maybe claim Ramsay hates all celebrity brands? Maybe say it was just one bad batch? But even inside her own team, people knew the truth. This wasn't just about one jar. It was a complete branding disaster. The as-ever launch was flashy. Instagram-ready fonts, muted pastel color palettes, artsy jars. But when people cracked them open, all that aesthetic meant nothing. Because if it doesn't taste good, no amount of PR sparkle can save it. Ramsay's takedown wasn't just about jam. It was about the whole illusion, the fake perfect lifestyle, the polished facade, the idea that a royal title could sell anything. And now, the culinary world was clapping back. Legendary chefs weren't shy either. Alice Waters reportedly rolled her eyes when asked about the jam and said, "You can't fake craftsmanship." Thomas Keller, when cornered at a Napa event, laughed and said, "I'd rather spread mustard on my croissant." Meghan had stepped into a world that doesn't care about titles or tabloids. Food is honest. You can't trick someone's taste buds. And she found that out the hard way. Sales completely tanked. The few boutiques that had dared to stock Meghan's jam started quietly pulling it from their shelves. Some issued full refunds to customers who pre-ordered. One store even sent an email saying the product was no longer available due to quality concerns. Yikes. The As Ever website, the Buy Now button mysteriously disappeared. Instead, it redirected people to a vague sign-up form for future updates. Future updates? More like damage control in disguise. And inside Buckingham Palace? Sources say laughter echoed through the corridors, not out of bitterness, but out of sheer poetic irony. Meghan, who had dramatically distanced herself from the firm to build her own empire, just watched her first solo venture crash and burn over a jar of jam. The question hanging in the air was deafening. Was Meghan actually building something real, or was she just riding the last fumes of fame and filtered Instagram optics? The worst part? It didn't even feel like a business flop. It felt personal. Meghan's entire rebrand was built around authenticity, healing, and starting fresh. But one comment from Ramsay in The World suddenly saw something else. Another celeb cashing in with glittery labels and buzzwords, expecting the public to swallow it without question. Insiders say Meghan's inner circle was in chaos. She was holed up in a Los Angeles boardroom surrounded by stylists, brand managers, PR pros, and crisis advisors. The energy wasn't creative. It was desperate. This wasn't just a PR hiccup. This was a brand-busting meltdown. And there was no crown to hide behind this time. Some whispered about pulling the plug, killing the As Ever brand entirely, clearing the shelves, and quietly moving on. But Meghan? She wasn't ready to give up. She had big dreams. There were whispers of a wellness book, a line of cookware, maybe even a cooking show. Her team urged patience. "This is just a stumble," they insisted. "Not the end." But outside that boardroom, the world wasn't feeling so forgiving. In the cutthroat, no-nonsense world of food, one viral flop can kill your credibility forever. High-end retailers who had once been in quiet talks with Meghan's brand suddenly ghosted her. One grocery chain exec reportedly said, "We can't stock something the internet already turned into a meme." Another partner pulled out of a launch event, citing brand misalignment. Translation: "We don't want our name next to this disaster." For Meghan, that was the true heartbreak, losing control of the narrative. For years, she's been fighting to shape her own story, from stepping away from the monarchy, to launching her podcast, to producing Netflix shows. Every move has been about reclaiming her voice. But Gordon Ramsay? He silenced all of that with one bite. It wasn't just about jam anymore. It was about trust. If Meghan couldn't deliver on something as simple as jam, something personal, simple, and symbolic, then what did that say about everything else? Her message of authenticity, wellness, reinvention, suddenly it all looked like smoke and mirrors. Talk shows had a field day. Late-night hosts joked that the jam tasted like broken dreams and expensive lawsuits. Morning shows laughed their way through the story while showing memes of Ramsay torching a jam jar. And in all those segments, one brutal message was loud and clear: you can't fake quality. Behind closed doors, Meghan's former staff started talking. Some said they warned her not to rush the launch. One even claimed the recipe was changed last minute to make it look better in photos. And those influencers who were paid upfront to post glowing reviews, quietly deleting their content faster than you could say sponsored. But the final blow? Oh, it was savage. A leaked video from the restaurant kitchen showed staff scraping the jam off uneaten scones and tossing it into the bin. One cook even laughed. "We're doing them a favor." Just 12 seconds long, that clip racked up over 5 million views in 2 days. And Meghan, not a peep, no statement, no Instagram damage control, no PR-crafted apology, nothing. And maybe that silence said it all. Some flops are just too big, too messy, and too raw for spin to fix. Meghan's jam wasn't just rejected, it was annihilated, and with it, another layer of her carefully curated brand vanished. Because at the end of the day, people aren't stupid. They're tired of perfectly filtered lifestyles with no soul behind them. Meghan tried to sell serenity, handcrafted luxury, and meaningful living in a jar. But all it took was one honest, no-holds-barred chef to peel back the velvet and show the world what was really inside. And now? Well, the world's moved on, but not before leaving behind a jam-stained mess and a meme-worthy meltdown that'll haunt Meghan's brand playbook for years to come. Her next move better be real, because after Jamgate, one thing's clear. No one's buying the fairy tale anymore.